Now, do you have an Anaconda 3 64-bit? When you click the down arrow, okay, you will see several options, of which what we're going to use is Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so you open that. Okay, then from Anaconda Navigator, we're going to use Jupyter Notebook. Okay, now when you click launch, this is going to open up a web screen in your browser, okay, whatever browser that's default. Okay. I had it set for Google Chrome, but now it's going somewhere else, I think. Well, anyway, so this is the screen that you will see. Okay, so and I have this in the Word document also. So in Canvas, if you go and download the Word document, you will see information about this. Okay. Now I have some instructions as to how to modify the default home folder. Okay, when you launch Jupyter, so right now it's opening, I think, I don't know where, but I do have a set of instructions as to how to change the home folder. Okay, that's for your own laptop. Okay, when you're using university computer, just use whatever page, whatever home folder it comes up with. Okay, so but when you're using your own computer, you can change the folder if you want. Okay, that's optional. Okay, you don't need to do it, but I have given instructions as to how to do that. Okay, so we'll start with Jupyter Notebook. Okay, let me back up a little. So this course we're going to cover first half or a little bit more than half on Python, and then the second half of the semester will be R. So we'll spend more time on Python relatively, okay, a shorter amount of time with R. Our focus is going to be understanding the basics of Python and R, and also get to some applications. There are two applications which are very, very critical for data analytics. Okay. One is how to prepare data for further analysis. Okay. Because data normally comes in pretty dirty. We'll talk about what dirty means a little later on. So how do you manipulate data and prepare it, okay, for it to be further analyzed using models? That's one. The second is visualization. It's extremely important function in data analytics to look at the data and visualize it and see what information you can glean from the data. So these are the two things that we will do. But before we get to those stages, we have to understand some basics of both Python and R. And of these two, R is more of a package that is geared or tailored for data analytics. Okay? People don't use R for anything else other than data analysis. And it is a very, very popular platform. And there are bunches of libraries written for R, all free. Okay, so that makes it really, really interesting, and it's used very widely. Whereas Python, it has all the functionality of R. Again, it's open source. It has lots of libraries, but The difference is, and this is both an advantage and a disadvantage, the difference is it is not tailored for data analysis. It is more tailored for general purpose programming. So it is more flexible than R, so that's the advantage. The disadvantage is that you have to pay attention to, the coding is a little more involved than R. R is more straightforward. Tuck, 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 okay? Whereas in Python, you have to understand a little bit more. It can be confusing sometimes. Anyway, we will try to deal with those issues as we go along. And one more important point that you need to note is that, see, when I graduated, that was, I don't know how long ago, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, something like that. And there was the only Python we knew was a Reptile, right? So all that I'm going to try to teach you is something that I learned on my own. So I'm not an expert, okay? But I know enough to get you started. Okay, at the end of the course, you're not going to be experts either. But one thing I hope you will do is you will have the ability to keep learning and become more and more proficient. And your knowledge of Python, especially Python, knowledge of Python and R, will give you a very good grounding in data analytics. Okay, so this is a very important course, and on the level of learning that you can achieve is really on you. Okay, don't try to pass the class. Okay, so that's the least of it. Try to understand and learn, and the goal is to have sufficient expertise or sufficient knowledge to continue to learn and keep learning. It's a lifelong learning process. Okay, so that's our objective.